Today we are going to be discussing. Are we already on week 4?
Four, Quattro.
Yeah, so we're going to be discussing week 4. I know we didn't go over week 3 at all. Me and Joe had texted each other, I think, our predictions for the most part. But we're going to
I
do.
checked. Did you check how you did?
No, I think I only disagreed with you though on 2 games.
So I went 9-6. You, I think
I disagree
might.
with you with the Packers game and the
Yep.
Bengals, which I got right.
So you went 11-4. Sheesh. Good job, Mike.
Well. Like we said though, we didn't think it was going to be that interesting of a week, which actually it did end up being more interesting than I thought. But there was also a lot of really bad games. I mean, so bad that it was entertaining, of course. But
Still them boys. Still them boys.
I mean, I think so. I think that this is a typical game for the Cowboys to lose. Like that was
I
like
mean,
textbook right there. But
yeah,
this
but
is my
it's.
thing. Don't people love to over exaggerate over one game? Like, yeah, like they
I
lost, but
mean,
like
I'm not.
this doesn't
I'm not
change
saying they're.
like my thought on them going to the Super Bowl.
I know it's just funny. It's the classic, like, like how, like, 15 weeks into the year, usually it'll be like this team beat this team who beat this team who beat this team, and then it'll like do a circle and it'll be like, therefore the New York Jets are the best team.
Yeah, yeah, I
This is
definitely.
gonna be in that now. This is gonna be in that.
I think this was one of those classic, like we every year this happens with a team. You play down to your competition. That I mean, we're Celtic
Hmm.
fans. We see that way too often. But
You
anyways,
know it.
let's get started with our predictions for this week. Me and Joe are kind of going into this a little blind, by the way. We're just seeing it now who's playing. So
Yeah, we're trying to record this early so we actually upload it, and we actually upload it before the Thursday night football game. We're over three so far and uploading before Thursday, so
are we?
we're gonna try to go 1 for 4, and we're gonna try to
Oh wow, and I'm
avoid.
I'm I'm liking this Thursday game. Wow.
I am too, but I'll tell you what, I think we're gonna agree. Packers,
I don't know. I want to say Packers,
they're
but
home. That's why I say Packers.
but their first half scared me. Like
Shoulda, yeah, it was. They looked, but I'm telling you, that's the Saints defense for you. The Saints defense is really good, and also they lost. I guess yeah, they lost Derek Carr. And I don't think they would have won that game if Derek Carr stayed in.
you know what? I'm gonna go with the Lions, and you know that pains me.
Damn.
I'm gonna go with the Lions. I just think. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like I just don't. Last week, I still am standing by my prediction that I think the Packers are going to win that division. But I just think coming off last week, they barely scathed away with that one. I don't know. I think the Lions.
Wait. Before you make your decision, well, you already did, but I'm gonna see if I can change your mind. Both Aaron Jones and Watson are set to return.
Okay. I mean, I still think the Lions are going to win.
With that information, I can't bet on that. I remember at the beginning of the year, I said because you asked me to tell you what games I thought Green Bay was going to look at, and I went down their schedule and I told you which ones I thought they were going to win and lose. And I
uh,
did tell you that they were going to split the Lions 50-50,
you think this will be the
both
one
home
game they
wins by
get?
either team. And I still stand by that. They're both 2-1, right? They both have the same record.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a very even matchup. I think the Lions are, especially with Aaron Jones coming back, a little more banged up than the Packers are at this point. I think the Packers are still running with that win on Sunday because,
No,
all of that happened in the fourth. That was one of the best quarters probably the best quarter they had this year. And they're still running with that into Thursday night's game. It's only a 3-day difference. I think they're going to use that as momentum.
you know what though? But this is why this is so hard for me because I'm still picking the Lions, but this is big in their division. Like I know it's
Yeah.
early, but this is a big game for them for the
Mhm.
division. Like it really is.
It's the newborn Lions versus the newborn Packers.
I know, but what I'm saying is like the Bears and the Vikings are both kind of. I mean, they always have a
Out
shot,
of
but
it, yeah.
and right now, who's gonna come away with the 3-1? Someone's gonna leave this at 500. And again, I know it's early, but I don't know.
Mhm.
I still think the Lions are gonna win this game. Unfortunately, and that pains me to
I
say.
mean, I want the Lions to win. Obviously, I like my boys,
Yeah.
but like I said, I see them winning the home matchup against Green Bay, not this one. Anyways, let's move on. First 9:30 game, bro.
Let's
Let's get it.
go.
Let's go. Let's
I'm
wake
so
up,
hyped.
watch football, and drink. We got the Falcons and we got the Jaguars in, I think, England, right? I thought it was Germany, but I think it's England, actually.
I don't know, but you brought something funny to my attention. Don't the Jaguars have back-to-back games in different countries?
I think I saw that. I think
No,
they play
they
in
do, because
England.
I looked, and both weeks were 9:30 games for the Jags, and I was like, how
That's yeah,
the
that's
hell
what I
did that happen?
so I'm thinking that Goodell just doesn't want to keep flying teams back and forth to overseas, so they're just gonna keep one there for the week. If they fly the Jaguars back and forth, then I won't really know what's going on. But I mean, I don't know. But anyways, the Jaguars Falcons, that's actually a lot more of an entertaining matchup than one might have assumed at this point. One being you as well. Very high
Yeah,
on the Jags coming into this year. I mean, I was too, but I
the
wasn't as loud
only
as you were.
the I think no. To be honest with you, and it's weird. It's funny too. Like the Jaguars only favored by like a field goal, which I guess does make sense. But I think that the Jaguars are going to have a statement win on Sunday. I think that they need to show that you know. I mean, yeah, their record is 1-2, but I'm still not necessarily concerned, especially because their division, I still
Mhm.
think they're fine. Falcons at 2-1, like that's cool and all, but like I just solely off the fact I can't see the Falcons starting all 3-1 this year. I just can't see it.
That's fair.
Like
I
I
think
know that
I'm
sounds crazy, but it's just like I mean, and I'm being kind of like satire and stuff, but I mean,
mhm.
no, but like realistically though, like Trevor Lawrence, I think he actually did some things in the second half that gave me a little like I don't want to say hope, but it made me kind of like okay, like I still think he's gonna be okay. I don't know. It's a weird something weird's going on over there right now. I don't think it's
Yeah,
anything
no,
too crazy, but they got to get it under control this week, and they got to make a statement win, and I think they will. I think they'll soundly beat the Falcons.
I just realized the Colts, the Texans, and the Cardinals won this week. What the hell? Anyways, I'm gonna hesitantly agree with you. And like we said, it is Tuesday right now. It is Tuesday the 26th. So there's a lot of time between today and Sunday. So I think my opinion might sway on this one, based on like stuff I hear and stuff like that. But I don't know, the Falcons, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Jaguars. Desmond Ritter, he had a good game, I think, week two. Who did they play? The Chiefs, I think. I
Yeah.
think he had a good game against the Chiefs. No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the friggin' Jaguars. Hold on.
I thought
Who
you
did
were
they
talking
play
about
week two? Oh, they played the Packers. Yeah, Ritter looked really good against the Packers. That Packers Falcons game is really good. And if that wasn't just a one-time thing for the Falcons, like that show, they're actually a decent team this year. But last week, obviously, they didn't even get a touchdown. So I'm gonna have to go with the Jaguars. Both of them are coming off losses. Teams that after 2 weeks you thought would be doing well. One of them is either well, the Jaguars 1-2. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because they lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah. Now I think
Yeah, no, there's no way. There's no way. You say there's no way the Falcons can start 3-1. There's no way the Jaguars can start 1-3.
Well,
There is no way.
that's kind of what I'm saying too. But also, like, the only thing that is bothersome to me is I was very questioned. Like, going into the year, the only doubts I had with Jacksonville was their defense. Like I knew, like offensively, I know
Mm,
that they were going to be fine. Which I mean, they haven't been great still, but
you know.
defensively, especially in the pass game, like they
Mhm.
I don't know. So we'll see, but
Uh,
I think they get it done.
Anyways, next up, Rams and Colts. I am still a believer in the Rams, even after this loss to the Bengals. The Bengals still really didn't look like themselves. Jamar Chase kind of did. Other than that, like T. Higgins did awful. Joe Burrow still kind of didn't do that well. Mixon was held back, but he had that like 1 14-yard touchdown run. If anyone is gonna be like, well, he got a touchdown, yeah, like one. He did one thing. Anyways, um, I don't know. The Rams, because I think a lot of it is just because of how much I wrote them off at the beginning of the year. Like, let's say like they were putting up these exact performances last year. I'd probably be a little underwhelmed because they just won the Super Bowl. But
Mhm.
no Cooper Cup. When Cooper Cup comes back, him and Nakua are gonna tear stuff up. But anyways, I think they're gonna beat the Colts. Yes, the Colts did beat the Ravens this week without a lot of their starters on offense. Obviously, no J.K. Dobbins, no Odell Beckham. A lot of their
But
O line was missing,
The
and the
Colts were
Colts.
missing somebody too.
Yeah, they had Andy Dalton in there, right? It was Andy Dalton for the Colts, right? Friggin', I found out this week. I might have
No, no,
texted
no,
you
no.
this.
You're thinking of doesn't Andy Dalton play for the Panthers?
I think I am. Who the hell was playing for the Colts?
I don't know the guy's name. I mean, he played like solid, but I mean, don't. Hey,
No,
you're
I know who it was though. It was oh, it was Minshew. It was Minshew.
so you're saying it's not a big deal if you beat a team who's injured.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
Shout out to the
I think the
Lions.
Ravens would have won if they're healthy. If
Shout out
both
to the
teams were healthy,
Lions.
if both teams were healthy, I think the Ravens would have easily won that game.
Okay.
But anyways, that being said, I still think the Rams are real this year. They're 1-2, yes. They lost to the 49ers and the Bengals. Those are two fantastic teams, and they beat who the Seahawks. That's like, your middle of the road wild card team, the Seahawks. I think that the Rams are a little under a middle of the road. I think they're like a 500 team. I think the Rams are about a 500 team that can do a little better than that, sneak into the playoffs if they wanted to, won't do any damage. And I think they're going to beat the Colts.
I think the Colts are going to win. I don't believe in the Rams at all. I actually really was impressed with what I saw last week from the Colts, especially like because the thing is too like that game was a high pressure game. Like there were
Mhm.
like like especially like in the beginning too. Like because I watched that game on Sunday, um, and I thought like out the gate. I mean, I was watching the Ravens and I was watching Lamar run. I mean, the first thing that I saw was like, man, like Lamar Jackson is a hell of a runner, man, but I'm just so scared every time that dude takes off, bro. And the Ravens got to be
Yeah.
too, bro. Like, but like it works. I get it. Like whatever, keep doing it. But man, like that shit scares me, man. But anyways, we're not talking about them. But I really liked what I saw from the Colts. And now we won't know till later in the week if Richardson is gonna play or not because I just read we'll find out later in the week.
I think he should. It's a concussion.
Well, no,
That's
well, they
two
said
weeks
he has
off.
to pass. If he passes protocol, the concussion protocol, then he will. But if he doesn't, he's
I
not
think
allowed.
he should. I think he should. It's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. He probably will. But I actually
But,
like.
but let's address though. I don't know if you know this. He got pulled out of both games, right?
Yes, I'm
He
aware.
even got
I'm
pulled out week
aware.
one.
I
This
know.
guy is just
Week
two
one
on two.
was and week one, who did they play? They played
Jaguars.
yeah, the Jaguars. You got to remember too, the Colts are coming off of back-to-back road wins to start this season after losing to the Jaguars. Like
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of feeling the way you are about the Rams in a sense of like the Colts have impressed me more than because I expected nothing from the Colts this year, and they
Mm.
impressed me a lot more. The Rams haven't impressed me. I mean, yeah, they have a bunch of like they have a couple almost wins now under their belt, which like I get, which is cool, but I'm
Yeah.
not seeing anything that's making me think that they'll even be anywhere near a 500 team. Um,
I see way more from the Colts. I mean, sorry, from the Rams and the Colts, man. I mean,
I mean, I don't think
I
to be
I
fair,
don't think it's
I
I
don't
don't
think
think it's
any
gonna
of
be a
them are.
blowout. Look, I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I just think they have the Rams this week and the Titans next week, and God knows who I'm betting in the Colts Titans game probably. I do not think they're gonna start um this year 4-1 or 5-1 or whatever. That'd be ludicrous for the Colts to start like that.
I think they will, but like I said, like I still don't think I don't think like either of these teams are playoff teams. So like I'm not
Mhm.
arguing like who's the better team or not, but like I just think like the Rams got like people are like I get it, like we're impressed because we thought the Rams were gonna be like literally god awful, but it's like they're still not a good team. They're not winning games, like they're not getting the job done. So it's like
It's It's because they're flipping the script. It's all like the guys that like weren't doing much last year or that weren't even there last year. Like Tutu Atwell, Nakua, obviously, Kyron Williams. These are three big offensive threats that are just getting started in LA. They're just getting their feet under them. And as they develop throughout the year, hell, the years, they're gonna be these are some players that have the potential. They have high ceilings, I think, by like midseason.
They could have high ceilings, but I don't think it's coming this year. I think they could show.
Mm,
I think what you're seeing is what you're going to get this year. You're going to see flashes where of potential, which I
yeah.
like I can see that, but I don't think that's going to equate to them being a 500 team or being in the playoffs. I think they're going to have a
Okay.
bunch of. I think we're going to have something this year where it's like, oh man, like the Rams could have easily won 6 more games. They were right in the game, but they didn't.
Hmm.
That's who I think they're going to be.
I can
So.
see that. I just see this. I see the Colts. Oh, the Colts easily could have won that game this week.
Yeah,
I
same.
see what you're saying, though.
I'd say I feel the
Yeah.
same about the Colts too, for sure.
Okay, perfect. We got to move on. We talked so long about these first three. Oof. Ravens and Browns. Two teams that I think are going to do well, and you don't. Well, I think.
Well. No, I think the Ravens are going to do well. I just don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl like everybody thinks.
Okay. Um, this all depends on how healthy the Ravens are this upcoming week. If the Ravens are healthy, then I'm gonna go with the Ravens. If they're not, I'm gonna go with the Browns. If the Ravens lost to the Colts, who I think aren't as good as the Browns, without these players, I don't think they're gonna beat the Browns without these players. Simple as that. But I overall think that the Ravens are a better team. I'm pretty sure that in their history being division rivals in the past 5 years, the Ravens have won the matchups. I don't exactly know. Like the Bengals Browns thing caught me off guard that the Browns beat the Bengals that much, but I doubt they also beat the Ravens that much and are still usually a sub 500 team.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the thought process that the Ravens usually win these matchups. But like I said, if they can't get that O line healthy, the Browns defense is gonna eat them up. I'm still riding high on those guys. I
Yeah.
forget who did they Browns play this week? They won. Um, they played the Titans. Yeah, that's what it was. They held Derrick Henry to like 2 yards. He was in the negatives at the beginning of the
Yeah,
game.
I think he only had
Um,
like 20 something yards or something, like something crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. And now they're holding back Lamar Jackson. They don't have J.K. Dobbins. Both of these teams are missing their star running back, which is crazy. Out for the year, both of them. Um,
Yeah,
but
I think so I think obviously like they're really gonna the pressure I think is gonna get to Lamar with the Browns defensive line, like because again,
yeah,
I never said the Browns are a bad defense. I think they're a good defense. I don't think they're as great as you think they are, but I still do think the Browns are a good defense. And I think it's going to be enough to mess with Lamar. So Lamar's going to have to beat them with his pass. Now,
you're not impressed.
well, no, not even that. I just think he doesn't have all the tools right now to be able to win just off of his passing alone. I mean, at the end of the day, the guy's an NFL quarterback. He could throw, but it sounds like he has a bunch of other things to rely on right now. Like, we're going to see. Maybe he does beat them with the passing, but I do think the Browns are a good enough team to win this game, and I think they will. I'm gonna pick the Browns too. I mean, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see, because the Ravens started out, I guess you could say, pretty hot, and then if they went
They
from
always do.
being 2-2, yeah, but I feel like they had a little bit of a different energy to them this season, like with Lamar re-signing Odell. It just felt a little different this
Yeah.
year, and especially a lot of people had them like, on this pedestal. And I think they'll still
Yeah.
be fine if they lose this game, but I kind of agree
Yeah.
with you, man.
Agreed.
I just don't. I think the Browns defense is going to have a field day.
Even if the O line is healthy, which goes to show that if it isn't, I think it's gonna be. I think the quarterback pressure. I don't know about sacks because usually Lamar's good about getting the ball out. He plays smart, like he's gonna try to not get sacked, but the quarterback pressure is
Well,
gonna
I
be
think
insane.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to try to like he's going to try to go for a run, and they're gonna like knock the daylight out of him to the point where he's going to be hesitant to
Yeah.
keep running. You know what I mean? So he's going to have to continue to throw the ball. But we'll see. I got the Browns too. So.
All right. Vikings Panthers. I know. I know. I know. I know. I think it was last week or the week before. Some point I said I can't take the Vikings anymore. They win these games and then just throw them away with a fumble, with an with something stupid. But I'm gonna take them. Again, I'm gonna get my heart broken again. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take them over the Panthers, and it is because I think that the Panthers, unlike the rest of their opponents, cannot capitalize as well on mistakes that the Vikings make. I think the Vikings are going to continue to make these mistakes. They've made them the past 3 weeks. I don't know what's going to stop them from it at this point. They're easy mistakes to fix, and they still don't. And it makes me mad because I like the Vikings. But I don't think the Panthers are an Eagles team, which you mess up, they're going to run into you. A Chargers team, if you mess up, they're going to run into you. Baker Mayfield feeling hot with his new team that the Tampa Bay offense was going off. I don't think the Panthers could do that. Like, I'm not sure if you were watching the Patriots game, but I'm going to refer to it really quick. Against the Dolphins, when Christian Gonzalez got that giant interception and Mac went 3-and-out.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the Panthers getting like a few turnovers from Minnesota and them just going 3-and-out. I think Minnesota wins this week. And if they don't, I'm not even gonna look at who they're playing next week. They could play Cardinals, I guess, but they could play anyone next week. If they lose this week, I'm not I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are going to blow them out of the water. I mean, I think this is a week where like, and Kirk Cousins has been playing. He has been playing good to start this season off. I mean, there's a couple things that he's also done that has hurt them in crunch time situations. But what
Mm.
else is new? But I think that the Vikings are going to be in control for most of this game, and I think that with that, there's not going to be as much pressure. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be able to do his thing. I see this being like a 13 to 17 point victory for the Vikings personally. Um,
I I honestly disagree. I think it's gonna be a closer game than that, but I I mean based off of like last year's statistics, yeah, but this year I mean, the only thing that's impressed me about the Vikings this year is Kirk Cousins. Jets, trade for him. Save my man. Please save him. Get him a Super Bowl. I know you don't agree on that, but
I
the
think that would
Jets need a
do. I think that
quarterback.
would do a
They,
lot more
they
damage.
signed Seaman today.
That would do a lot
They,
more damage to your man. That would. You want to put him in that spotlight? Go ahead, but
uh, uh, anyways, I assume we're done talking about that. We got Bengals and the Titans. So I'm taking the Bengals because I don't like the Titans. I think they suck. Other than Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had a really bad week. I think he's gonna look to make a big comeback against the Bengals, but it's still the same guy at the helm. And I think Tannehill is,
the
I think
funny
it's gonna be a close game. Because I'll tell you what, Hopkins has been making Tannehill look good. Hopkins has been making some really good catches, but I don't know. I still don't think the Bengals found their groove. Can we agree on that? I think they
Yeah,
won a game they should have won.
I think their quarterback has been injured since the summer. I think he's still been hurt with that calf from the summer. I don't think he's anywhere near fully healthy, which is why I said in the beginning of the season I thought it was stupid that they were already going to. He's clearly still hurt and he's playing through it, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's crazy. It's kind of scaring me. I just looked at it now that the Titans are favorited this week by 3 against the Bengals, which I'm like, what?
Telling you, dude, they love Tannehill.
No,
Don't
but
know why, but they do.
but I think this is a play from Vegas because Vegas knows that everybody's kind of still low on the Bengals, even though they won. I think they want people to take the bait, but I also think it has something to do with Burrow's health, man. Like I don't think he's healthy.
Yeah. I
And
mean, he definitely isn't. He was questionable up until game time.
that's why I'm thinking I'm like, I don't know, is he gonna play? Is he not gonna play? But I think the Bengals are gonna win. Again, I think it's gonna be something like last night. I don't think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be an ugly win, but I think
Yeah.
they're gonna pull a win. I don't think it's gonna be a win, like you said, like I don't think they're gonna find their groove next week either. I don't think they'll find their groove until Burrow gets healthy. Like I think I still think they can get it together. It reminds me a little bit of remember the 2021-2022 season when like the Chiefs their first few weeks they started off a little like and everyone
Yeah.
was like
They started like 2-4.
yeah, everyone was like, "Is it over for them already?" And they lost in the AFC Championship that year to the Bengals, but and it's different circumstances, of course, because Burrow's still not all the way healthy. But I still do think
Mhm.
the Bengals have time to get it together. I don't think this week
Mhm.
is going to show that, but I still think they will.
Yep. Ugly one. I think next week they have the Cardinals, maybe. Um, because obviously Burrow will be hopefully a lot more healthy at that point. But yeah, this upcoming week, I agree. I think it's gonna be an ugly win. I think Hopkins and Henry are gonna do well against the Bengals defense. Especially after the horrible showing they had against the Browns defense last week. They're gonna wanna go off. But anyways, yeah. Ooh, I like this
I like
game.
this game as
Buck
well.
Buccaneers
Now,
Saints.
if you would have showed me this game at the beginning of the year, I would have been like, whatever. But
Go Saints, yeah.
yeah,
But I really wish Derek Carr was healthy for this matchup. Ah, that sucks. That sucks. Who'd they put in? Winston?
probably, yeah. I'm taking.
Wait. Never mind. It's Jameis Winston versus his old boys down in Tampa. Never mind. Okay. It's still got some storyline, even though Derek Carr is hurt. So it is a home game for the Saints. Um, I I think the Saints have this one. I am very, very impressed with a lot of their receivers. Michael Thomas, obviously Olave went off last year. He's doing okay this year. Raheed Sashid is a is a baller, dude. They need to get this guy the ball more. I'm pretty sure correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he got a whatchamacallit this week. A return touchdown.
Mhm.
And he's usually used as a wide receiver 3. I think I think he should be exchanging wide receiver 2 positions with or receiving, I'm sorry. Alternating him and Olave at wide receiver 2. I think he is very talented and I think that he's going to turn into a good threat. If Michael Thomas is to retire at any point soon, I think Sashid has them set up to lessen the blow of that. And I think they're going to look for him this week, especially with an injured Derek Carr.
Yeah, so originally when I first saw this game, I was gonna take the Bucks, but I think I'm gonna go with the Saints because I just feel like the Saints, besides a couple bad plays last week for the most part, like they looked good. Like
Would they lose to?
they lost to
Oh, yep. Packers.
Yeah, to the
Yeah.
Packers, and they were up what 17-0 at one point, I think, or 16. It was one of those.
It was 17-0. Yeah. And I feel like I don't
Well,
want to.
let me just get my thought. So
Okay.
I think it's going to be a very low scoring game, and I think that's going to benefit New Orleans because I just simply off the fact that the Saints defense is much better than the Bucks defense. So I think like
Hmm.
what it comes down to there is like I could see a scenario where it's like a 14-14 game somewhere, like there's a lot of field goals being made this game or something like that. But
Yeah.
I
I feel
just
every
trust,
Saints game has been like that, it
yeah,
seems.
yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, and again, I think it'll be close. Like I think the Bucks definitely could win, but I just trust the Saints defense a little more. That just puts it over the top for me personally.
I mean, the thing you have to remember though, which is a little scary, is that yes, they had a 17-0 lead and then blew it. And like I said, one of those touchdowns I'm pretty sure was on a punt return. So the offense really only got one touchdown, I'm pretty sure, and maybe a field goal. Um, so the offense really wasn't that I was
But
a lot more impressed with the Saints week 1 and 2.
no, I
Even
know.
if they beat the Packers, even if they beat the Packers, I wasn't that
I
impressed.
know, I know, I know, but what I'm saying is like they don't even need to score that many touchdowns. I feel like against this Bucks team, but I think that they can because I'm not
Mm,
sold on the Bucks defense at all. Like
right.
so that's why I kind of give them the edge in this one.
All right.
We'll do one more.
Dolphins, Bills. I mean, you can't bet against the Dolphins at this point, man. I I'm gonna be surprised if the Bills go 2-2. Um, but they have potentially the hardest matchup in the league right now. You got two excellent choices at running back. If you did not pick up, I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name in fantasy, or if you were able to, bravo, because this guy was really good. They didn't even have Waddle, bro. 70 points without Waddle, and I know it was against Denver, but like I
Yeah,
I can't see.
I'm
Um,
picking the Dolphins, but I'm not putting anything in the stock what the Dolphins did last week with this week. I'm just like
mm.
I think that would be
I
stupid.
mean, I saw the whole game. I saw before the game even started. I said they were going to score 7.
No, you didn't. You said midway. Oh,
I'm doing the
I
thing.
got you. I got you. I got you.
But there you go. I did say mid game at halftime. I said they're gonna get 70. I did. I'm not LeBroning this. I said that.
No,
Anyways,
okay, but that no, but my point is like I'm not putting like that is such an that's an outlier for a reason. Like nobody has scored that much since the 60s, I think. So like
of course, yes, of course.
no, but what I'm saying is, however, you take the first 2 weeks of how the Dolphins have been looking, the Dolphins are legit, right?
Mm.
So like I don't think this game is gonna be like a blowout, but I don't think like I think it'll be somewhat close. I still think the Dolphins are gonna win, but like I said, I don't think they're gonna come in and win by 30.
If
You know, like
if Waddle comes back, I think it's gonna be ugly. If he doesn't, I guess
I
I
see.
could see
I
like a
think that's
10-point game.
I think that's a little recency bias, but I get it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's been 2 days for us, I guess.
yeah, no,
All
but
right,
I get it. I think the
let's
Dolphins win.
quickly
I just don't think it's gonna be, you know, last one.
let's quickly jump to this game. We can do this in 3 minutes.
All
The
right.
Bears and the Broncos. The Caleb Williams Bowl.
Who cares? That's all I have to say.
Mike's take is who cares.
Like
That
honestly,
is that is fair.
honestly,
Um
these teams have absolutely no shot for anything.
I'll Caleb Williams. I'll tell you what, man.
I
If
mean,
you want my honest opinion, like if you want me to actually choose a team here, I will choose the Broncos because the Broncos offense didn't actually look that bad against the Dolphins. They scored 20 points. I'm pretty sure Russ got over 200 yards. They did what they were supposed to do. It's
I
just the
was go-
defense absolutely did not. Well, meanwhile, the Bears just still look shaky. They don't look like they know what they're doing. They don't look like they practice. The Broncos offense is not the issue here. They are a issue. They could be a lot better, but they're not the issue. Cortland Sutton did fantastic, if I recall, or maybe the game before he was doing really well. Jerry Jeudy, I still think he's really overrated. But anyways, all that aside, the plain and simply put is the Bears just look like a mess. In terms of the Broncos, their defense looks like a mess. Their offense just looks like it could be better.
Their offense looked bad too.
I don't think so. Not nearly as bad as
Dude,
like you
when you're
might
winning,
think in a game like that.
when you're winning by that much, you're just not gonna be playing that much defense. So I don't put stock into them getting 20 points when they let up 70 points. That's like in basketball, somebody, if you're losing by 40 and someone's like, yeah, I had 30 tonight. It's like, yeah, but you scored all that in times when it didn't matter. Like nobody cared. You know what I mean? Like,
I
I know
mean,
that they're playing the Bears, but it's like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I honestly think the Bears are gonna win. Just off of the fact that like the Broncos just look like, because you're looking at it from one way, right? You could be like, oh, like maybe they're gonna be motivated and come in. I don't know, man. They all look like they're just kind of done with the season. Like they look like they're just ready to pack it in, to be honest. And maybe the Bears are too.
Week 3.
But I think the Bears are gonna have a little more fight. But I think the Broncos are packing in the season. I think the Bears.
I mean, don't get me really quick. Don't get me wrong. I think that we're looking at the 31 and 32 teams this year. You know what I mean? Like if the Broncos are playing anyone else, I'd take anyone else. But just being so I made my argument, right, about their offense not looking as bad. That's just to justify myself in saying that they're going to beat the Bears. I had to come up with something, you know what I mean?
Fair. No, that's
like
fair. That's fair.
yeah, okay.
Commanders,
Commanders, Eagles.
Eagles.
What? Yeah, not much needs to be said. I think the Commanders are fake as hell.
I will say this though. The Commanders, even though they're what, are they 1-2 or
2-1.
oh yeah, they're okay. Really? They're 2-1? Yeah.
They were undefeated going into this week.
Yeah. The Commanders have impressed me a little bit in the sense of like, I don't think they're going to have a great record this year, but it's not going to be one of those games on a schedule where it's like, oh, this is an easy win. Like I think that they're going to give a lot of teams like a lot of tough games, but I think I just think the Eagles are. It's weird. Like the same thing is happening that happened last year with the Eagles, where you're like watching some of these games and you're like, yeah, they look good, but like but they keep winning. It's like I don't know. So I think
are you talking about that game against the Bucks? They killed them.
Hold on. I think it might be a little closer than expected, but I still think they get the win.
Dude, they destroyed the Bucks. That looked like the Eagles team that went to the Super Bowl. They destroyed them.
I'm not saying that didn't, but my point is we're 3 games in now, right? And they're 3-0. Their first 2 games, you were kind of looking at it like it almost felt like they lost at some points, like the way that I was like thinking and talking about the game. I'm dismissing last night. Yeah, they had a good sound win last night, but again, even that, like, I don't know, like they didn't. It just feels weird. I think it's gonna be the same thing as last year, where like we look up and they might be like 11-1, 12-1, but it doesn't feel like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's. But I still think they win next week.
Okay. Next, Steelers and Texans. That's tough. I'm going with the Texans. I'm going with the Texans in this. I know you're not gonna agree with that, but I mean they did good this week, obviously, or last week, I should say, against Jacksonville. Obviously, Jacksonville doesn't look like themselves, but I am still not a believer in Kenny Pickett. And the fact that the Texans locked up Trevor Lawrence that much just tells me that they're going to lock up Kenny Pickett even more. And CJ Stroud isn't half bad. CJ Stroud is not half bad. I don't think they're going to do any damage this year. I think they're a 5-win maximum team, probably about there. It depends on, the other matchups they're going to get. But I think this is going to be one of their wins against the Steelers.
I think that I think you're missing a big piece here, and I think it's the fact that I think the Pittsburgh Steelers frontline defense is going to have a field day. with it because
I
because
mean,
I agree with you. What's his name? Stroud. Stroud looked good last week. I'm not a big fan of the Jacksonville defense, man. And like, I get it though. Like, I still pick them to be like a top tier team, so that they got to be somewhat of a okay defense. But I don't know, man. I don't, and this isn't even me saying that Kenny Pickett is going to have like the greatest game. I think this is going to be won just solely off of Pittsburgh's defense. Like, I do. The Texans did do some things that was like, oh, I kind of like that, but I don't know. I think they're really going to focus on pressuring him this week, and I don't think it's going to go well for Houston.
I mean, I think that the Texans defense is decent, above average. How about that? I'll say that I think their defense is above average, not by too much, but I think it's a defense that can get the job done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I
And
think I
I'm not
think
just
Pittsburgh's better at forcing those turnovers and shaking it up a little bit, in my opinion, at least. So
I
I
mean, I'm
think they're
not
going to come
necessarily
down.
saying get the job done against the Steelers. I'm just saying in general, like in fantasy, it wouldn't be bad to have them on your team. You know what I mean? Like if you're picking up, like, let's say your defense is shitting the bed, right? And you need to go pick one up off of like a waiver on waivers, free agency, whatever. I don't think this would be a bad one to grab. The Texans, I don't think that's would be a bad defense to grab. I think they're decent. Um, and like how I feel about Steelers offense. I just don't think they're it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Again, I
I
don't
feel
think.
I'll tell you what, if this makes you feel better, is I would call it an upset. Absolutely, I would call it an upset, even in my head. Um, but looking at the list of games, I think this is an upset that could happen compared to
Yeah,
some others.
yeah. Again, I think the Texans could 100% win this game too. As someone who is slowly but surely becoming a Steelers fan, I agree with you. I'm
Mhm.
not as big on Kenny Pickett here as a lot of people seem to be. But again,
Yes.
I really like the Steelers defense personally, and I think that they're gonna stir it up for the rookie, and I think it's gonna be like you know, they're gonna win. Oh, I don't think it's gonna be a 20-point game. I
Mm.
think it'll be a field goal or something, but that's I don't know. But again, you're right. The Texans easily could win, so I agree on that.
All right. I'm having a little trouble with this one, and I'm sure you're pretty surprised by that. Raiders, Chargers. Now, before I even make my opinion, let me check if Austin Eckler is going to be back. I assume you heard about Mike Williams.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge. Promising update on Austin Eckler. I think if Eckler's in, they win. I don't think it'll. Eh, hold on, let me check who the Raiders have played. Who have they played? I wanna check how good their run defense is. They played the Bills.
I'll just go out on the limb and say this. I think the Chargers blow out the Raiders this week.
I look, man. I like Jimmy G in Vegas. I
I do
I think
too.
that's the I think it's the one redeeming thing about the team. Um, I like the and I guess Josh Jacobs, but he's kind of been quiet this year. And I think he's gonna stay quiet this week, especially with like Joey Bosa and Mac in there. But I guess yeah, no, you know what? Yeah, the Chargers D line is just gonna eat up Garoppolo. Never mind. I will go with the
That's what I'm
Chargers.
saying, man. I think it's going to be again. I think it's going to be a sounding. I'm talking like a 17 to 20 point victory with ease for the Chargers this Sunday.
Mm.
That's how I'm
I
feeling.
just don't want to. I just don't want to keep going with all these like teams that are like clearly going to are favorited in these games. I like to think a little more about it. But yeah, no, the more I think about it, the more the
Now,
Raiders are not going to win.
I'm not even joking around right now. We don't have to speak about this next game, and I don't even want you to even teeter on the possibilities because it's not happening. The 49ers are going to destroy the Cardinals. The Cardinals are not going to come in back-to-back week and go beat the Cowboys and then even come close to the 49ers. It's
Can
just
I
not going to happen.
can I say one thing though?
Yeah.
They're not that bad. bad.
No,
I think
okay, that's fine, but it doesn't that doesn't have like we don't have to waste our time with like just because like it's like it sounds good and just because of what we watched last week, like I I just don't even think there has to be much thought to like you
okay.
don't we don't have to think too deep into this. We don't.
Okay, well let me just say I don't think we need to talk about the 49ers and the Cardinals game. I think
Uh,
you said before we started like we should talk about what happened last week and what's going to happen this week. So sure, let's not cover the game because the 49ers are going to win the game. But the Cardinals, we should just discuss really quickly that I'm not entirely sure why they're tanking. They could have and should have beat the Giants. Who'd they play week one? The Commanders. They could have won that game. Maybe not should have. I think they should be 2-1 right now. I think they should be 2-1. And obviously they beat the Cowboys. And that, like you were saying earlier, I forget if we were even streaming yet, but that's like, one of those things that's gonna happen. Like, a great team is gonna lose to a poor team. Of course, those things are gonna happen. But aside from those things happening, I liked what I saw from the Cardinals. It wasn't them necessarily picking up on the Cowboys doing bad. It was more so them doing the right things to win the game. James Conner looked good. Joshua Dobbs looked good. Marquise Brown looked good. The defense looked pretty good. I don't think they're going to win this week. I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they're going to beat most teams, but I don't think they should be tanking for the first overall pick. I think they're a decent team.
Okay, so but why shouldn't they? So let me ask you this: you think that they would have a shot to make the playoffs if they didn't tank?
Who's in their division?
Because
No, no,
because
no.
because
Okay,
what I'm
fine.
saying is
I guess not just because
it's a
their division.
higher
No.
it's a higher return. Like yeah, maybe they can go out and win 7 games this year, but you're getting a better return on investment by tanking and trying to go for the first pick.
There's a couple divisions that I think they could win.
Okay,
Not win. I'm sorry.
but
Make
let's
the
deal with
playoffs.
reality. But let's deal with reality. Like
Yeah.
here's the thing. I don't think the Cardinals are a good team. I think they're a horrific team. This is a classic case of a team like I said before, of a team specifically the Cowboys because it's the Cowboys playing down to their competition. Week 1 and 2, right? I just spoke about how I think the Commanders aren't as bad as people think, but they're not a playoff team. The Giants aren't a playoff team either. So those 2 games where they almost could have won, they did not play great competition. And with the Cowboys, in my opinion, that's an outlier. I think we're going to look back at the season, and I think the Cardinals are going to have 3 to 4 wins. And yeah, maybe we can say, oh, maybe they could have won other games, but they're a bad team. They're a bad football team, and to me, it's
But
just that simple.
but do you think they played horrifically against Washington and New York? Do you think they played horrifically against those teams?
No,
I do you think they're better than those teams?
no,
I think they might be better than the Giants.
I disagree. I just think like we're going off of like hypotheticals here. I feel like where it's like, oh well, they almost won. Well, they didn't win because they can't get the job done because they're not good.
Well, here's my thing with the Cardinals is I feel like going into the season, if you like listened to like people talking, you got your 30th team here, you got your 31st team here, and you got the Cardinals down here, right? You got them like way down here. Now, I'm not even saying that I think the Cardinals are like here. They could be like not the 32nd team. Like going into this year, they were acting like this was gonna be like the 0-16 Browns. Like the Cardinals suck. And even if they didn't beat the Cowboys this week, I was still disagreeing with that before this week even happened. Even after week one, I was like, dude, the Cardinals look not that bad. And I still don't think they look that bad. I think they got a couple of rough matchups in a row here, but
I
we
think
shouldn't even be
that
discussing this anymore. Anyway, long story
no,
short, I think the
no.
Cardinals are better than what people perceive them to be.
Well, I just disagree because I just don't think they're a good team, and like it's just like mind-boggling to me that we're like, oh, like well, they almost won here, they almost won there, but like they didn't. Yeah, they have times where they look good, but at the end of the day, if you finish with 3 to 4 wins on the season and that's your pace heading to it, you're not a good team. You suck, and there's just you could say that there was you could be like, oh, there was like times where like they looked decent, but no, being serious, like you could say like, oh, like there was times
No,
where they looked decent but it's like, no, they weren't good. They couldn't get the job done. It's that simple. We shouldn't have even spoke for this long about it.
It's an emphasis, man. Use.
The truth.
Well, I mean, we're gonna talk now about a team that I consider to be good that just keep barely almost winning games.
Can I speak first on this? Man,
Okay, tell me why the Patriots are gonna win. Tell me.
no, I feel so bad for the Patriots, man, because I truly believe that if the Cowboys would have came in and soundly beat the Cardinals last week, that they would have slipped up against the Patriots. But I don't see a world of that happening this week.
No shot.
And
Absolutely not.
And I actually really like the Patriots, because I do think they have pieces, man. Like I really do think that, and like it's not a situation with the Cardinals of where it's like, oh, like they almost gonna like the Patriots have literally been like a few plays short of like being 2-1 or 3. Like they really are teetering the line. So it's not the same thing
Yeah.
with the Cardinals. Like they're not again. If they have a situation where they end up going, 4 and whatever, yeah, they're a bad team, but I don't think it's going to be the case. However, I think the Cowboys are gonna try to make a statement this weekend against them. So that's what I think.
Yeah, there's absolute. I don't see a possibility of the Patriots winning, especially with the loss to the Cardinals this week. Um, Interestingly enough, I saw a video today where it was like Mac Jones almost wins compilation, and it was quite a lengthy video for a player who's only been around for 2 years and 3 games, which is so unfortunate. And he was injured a lot of last year, but um, anyways, yeah. I mean, I don't really see the Patriots putting up much against this. I think it's gonna after a rough. I think we looked better. We being the Patriots, obviously. I think we looked better week 1 and 2 in those losses than we did week 3 against the Jets in that win. I think we should have done way better. Zach Wilson looked horrible. The Jets looked horrible, and we still barely won. The Jets could have won. You were even saying how close that Hail Mary was. I thought he had it when he stuck
Yeah,
his
but
arm out,
that's
and
but
it
that's
was going right there. We were that close to being on. I mean, I think,
but that would have been luck. That would have been pure luck.
I mean, yeah, I understand this, but what I'm saying is, I think Patriots fans who are like, I don't know, more casual, have all their hopes up right now because they're like, we beat the Jets, and I was like, we looked awful. We looked way better the last 2 weeks. I didn't hear you guys getting happy, but anyways, the Dallas Cowboys are gonna come into town. I think it's home. I could be wrong. And if not, then all the more reason we're gonna lose. Uh when we play the Dallas Cowboys, they're gonna slap all the hope out of people's faces. And it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck for me being up here in New England, but it's going to happen and it's gonna be a what word do you use a lot? Uh like a resounding win. Like it's gonna be a win.
Yeah.
Like clear as day. And
A statement win. Yeah.
if you and for a great segue, if we're gonna talk about wins that are just let's actually not discuss the Chiefs Cowboys. We don't need to do this. The Cardinals.
You mean the Chiefs?
Yeah. Sorry, Chiefs Jets. Chiefs Jets. We don't even need to discuss it. Don't even say who you're taking.
No, but that just pisses me off because you wanted to discuss the Cardinals.
Oh man, that's the night game.
Yeah.
No.
Good thing I'll be sleeping.
That sucks. Oh, and then the next day is the Seahawks. We got bad primetime games this week. We got one great.
I think if Saquon plays, the Giants are going to beat the Seahawks on Monday.
Let's hear it.
I think the Giants have had a lot. I do actually put a lot of stock into having a lot of rest. Didn't the last time the Giants played was Thursday night, right?
Yeah, this is. I was just thinking that literally the longest rest you could get.
Yeah, I think if Saquon's healthy, they're coming off of a lot of rest. I think a healthy Saquon could lead them. It could go either way. I just think that I don't know. I just like the Giants in that situation. They kind of got nothing to lose at this point. There's no pressure. There's more pressure on the Seahawks at this point, honestly. But if Saquon doesn't play, I mean, I'm taking the Seahawks. So I don't know. I'm kind of a toss up, but I'm gonna go with the Giants.
I mean, I was saying earlier how like certain players being available this week like would affect the team. Like I was talking about like the Chargers. Like if Austin Eckler plays, like who knows what could happen? Or I forget who else we were talking about. Oh, Aaron Jones. Saquon Barkley is the brightest diamond in the thickest rough. And by that I mean there is literally no other player redeeming on this team.
Yeah,
Seriously.
that's fair.
Like
All right.
Daniel Jones is bad. Darren Waller, I think, is very overrated. Um, I don't know anyone else he's passed to, like Slayton, or
Slayton.
and then there's that other guy that like tore his ACL last year. I forget the name of the guy, but he's decent but not good. The Giants defense is just kind of there. I just
Yeah.
there's no one on this team that like is worthy of even mentioning. They're just bad.
Well, I mean, I
That was
hear you,
brutal.
but I just don't. I mean, I just like again, I like the Seahawks, but I don't think it's like I don't think they can't win against the Seahawks. Like it's not like we're talking about the Chiefs or the Cowboys here. Like,
I mean,
and I like the Seahawks, I do, but like I think if Saquon wins, that could be enough to beat the Seahawks. Absolutely.
still don't. They barely beat the Cardinals.
I mean, you also think the Rams are going to be freaking 14-3 this year.
When the hell did I
The
say
way
that?
you talk about them, it's like it's
I
insane.
literally said that they're gonna be like a slightly over 500, and
That's
you take that as
insanity. That's insanity to say that.
14 and 3.
You saying that
You taking the Giants in any situation is crazy, insanity, whatever word you
it's
use.
really not though. Again, I don't think that like I don't know. Maybe we see it different. I'm not saying they're going to come in and stomp on their necks, but
I mean, we saw plenty of insanity this week. If what if I had told you that they were going to score 70? What if I told you that the Cardinals were? What would you have said if I said the Cardinals are going to beat the Cowboys? You would have been much more horrified than me saying that the Rams are going to be an above 500 team.
no, but at least with that, like there's so many cases of playing down to your competition. Like that stuff happens every year. It does. It just does. That happens every year. You can look back at like, and especially with a team like the Cowboys, that's a classic case of playing down to your competition. But when it comes to like the Rams, like I said, I feel like the Rams are a team where you're gonna look back on at the end of the season and be like, oh, like man, if they were just able to put together 4 quarters for these couple games, they'd be over 500. But they didn't. So I think what's happening with the Rams now is how it's going to be all year.
I mean, are they better? Just yes or no? Because I'm leading into something with this. Are they better than you thought they would be at this point? Like, do they look better?
No,
That's wild.
I
That's
think I
fucking
think
wild.
we
There's
have
no
different.
way you just said that.
I know. I think that you just think that they were worse than I thought they were going to be.
I mean,
They still look like a bottom 7 team in the NFL.
I dis I disagree with that. But what I was gonna say is,
Well,
obviously, I don't think Cooper Cup's coming back this week, but that's another factor in this. I mean, I just like what I see from the Rams. I like what I see from the Rams. I think there's only a few parts missing that, if acquired in the offseason, they could pull a Lions and actually get a real team for next
we're
year.
talking about this season. That's
I understand that, but I'm saying that's why I think they're gonna beat the Colts. Is because I think they have a lot more together than the Colts have.
we're talking but you're saying they're going to go over 500 this year.
I said it depends on their matchups. I think they're gonna beat the Cardinals both times. That none of those games have happened yet, so there's 2 wins for you. I think they're gonna beat the Colts, so they're gonna be even after this week. So that's 4-2. I think they're gonna go 500 this year.
I disagree.
That's why we have a podcast, baby. But anyways, it smells like my dinner is ready, so
I'm
I
about to
think
go.
we are wrapped up here.
I'm about to
Yep.
go cook my
Thank you
dinner.
for watching. We're gonna try to upload a little more content this week. Hopefully we'll get week 5 of this out as well. But yeah, thanks for watching and subscribe, like, do all the things, and see you next time.
Yes, sir.